Hi, this is Sifu Paul, the Kung Fu Athletic Academy. This is a video in a series of videos about enrolling in martial arts, health and wellness type classes. This video here is more about you. It is, are you short-term, long-term, or do you know? In saying that, if you watch some of my other videos, I've expressed that the average person usually lasts 90 days, maybe 6 months. Some will last a year. You know, it's just this nutrition rate. So, you know, for someone to be in a school for 4 or 5 years, they really devoted their time. They really were. Really are, part of, they've made it part of their lifestyle. So, you know what, it's really difficult to say or not if you're a short-term or long-term student when you come into a school. That's the reason why I do semester basis, base classes, and month-to-month. I look at it like this. The average student is going to last 3 or 4 months. I know that. And most other schools know that too. So to try to sign you up for a year or sign you up for, and get you to pay for a black belt program, and you've signed up for 18 months or 2 years and you paid this big chunk of money, or you paid money toward it, when potentially it may not even last a few months. I don't know that that's fair. So I have people that have been with me for 10, 15 years that still train with me, not on a regular basis, but they still train with me, and they still train themselves. There are people out there that when they start doing some health and wellness type class, or a combat sport, or self-defense, or traditional martial arts, something about it rings true to them, and it sticks with them, and they enjoy it, and they use it as an outlet. Others, after a few months, it's just not really what they want to do. If you sign a contract or a third-party billing contract, you're going to have to get out of that thing. So you have to look at your own track record. When I do my consultations, I ask people how many things have they accomplished. Did you finish, I know it may sound simple, but did you finish high school, or did you get a degree in college, or did you finish something in trade school, or were you ever involved in, certain activities, and how far did you go? I ask those questions because it's a way for me to kind of see or not. If you've got a track record where you have accomplished things, or you stuck through things, there's a bigger likelihood that you're going to stay with martial arts for a longer period of time, or a combat sport, or health and wellness type class. But it's not 100% foolproof that just because you've never really accomplished anything or stuck with something, that you're not going to do that when you take a class in something. At the same time, I can sit here and explain to you everything that I do, and you can try a class, or you could go to one of the schools where they do the 6 weeks for $99 and the free uniform, and you get to try out the classes, and then you still sign up, and it's still within that window, and then a couple 3 months later, it's just not what you want to do. Other things have come up, and so it's something to consider. So whether you take classes from me or from someone else, whether you're here in the Dallas area or you live somewhere else, keep that in mind. When you go into the studio, or into the academy, or the school, or the Quan, or the dojo, or the gym, it's not just about the price, but it's also, if you decide it's not what you want to do, they may potentially have a trial offer that's 3 or 4 months. I'd recommend that most people try something like that. It's still, even if you sign up in a class, you still need to buy the equipment or the necessities that for that class. You need to take it with the interest level and the intent that you're going to see it through for a period of time, or you may have in the back of your mind that you're going to make this part of your lifestyle. It's great to be excited about something when you start doing it, or when the teacher or the salesperson at the bigger like schools, and they start talking up the programs and everything, and you get really excited about it, and you end up signing up, and you feel that you're going to do something for this long extended period of time. And that's great if you do, but if you don't, how are you going to be able to get out of that program? I know that may seem odd, me saying that like that, but it's just it's the realistic aspect of it, that things come up in people's lives. They get married, they get divorced, someone becomes pregnant, someone has a child graduates from school. All kinds of things can affect your learning, and if you're going to stay with something or not. And sometimes even those that have been with something for a few years, something devastating may happen in their lives, and it pulls them away from it for a period of time, and sometimes they never go back to it, and then other times that is what moving themselves back toward doing something like, again, a health and wellness class or a traditional martial art class, and that pulls them back up from where they were, from being from some devastated situation that came up in their life, someone passing away, or things just not going the way they're supposed to, or something else that came up. So making this video again, it's again to get you to think. It's not a waste of time for you to come in and try something for 3-4 months, and then you decide it's not something that you want to do. You got the experience of doing it. Potentially you learn some information that may be helpful to you later on, and it may be something that you go back to at a later date, a couple of years later when life is maybe a little more settled down. So don't look at it as a waste of time. And I know that there's a lot of we'll just say that there are teachers out there that sign people up under contracts because people quit after 3 or 4 months. And to be honest, the first 3-4 months, that first month, it's very difficult. The first few months of teaching somebody anything new is difficult for the teacher. They have to put more time and more effort into them, and then just as soon as they start to get to where they're competent in something, they decide that it's not for them. And so it's kind of a letdown to the teacher, not necessarily the monetary aspect, but it's just the encouragement, the motivation that you put into the person. So I'm not saying that to people or the person that's watching this video to discourage you from trying stuff. I've tried a lot of martial art styles and things, and after a few months it just didn't really fit with the rest of the things that I do, or it wasn't what I wanted to do, or the relationship that I have with the instructor, maybe I didn't feel comfortable with the instructor, or the other students, or whatever it might have been. Don't feel like you have to stay there if you don't want to keep going to class. At the same time, though, be clear to yourself, is it you're wanting to quit because it's getting difficult, or B, is it that you want to quit because it just doesn't really fit you? If it's because it's getting difficult and it's getting challenging, stick with it for a little longer. When you get through that impasse right there, you may end up making it something that's part of your lifestyle. But you have to give it that try first. So anyway, I hope the video kind of helps out Um, Again, just in a real, a small nutshell here, a lot of people do contracts and third-party billing because people usually, on average, people will take martial arts for a short period of time. And so they want to try to hold you there for as long as they can. I don't do that. I just don't feel that it's necessary. If you don't want to be there, you don't want to be there. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If I tried everything I could to ensure that you were able to make the right choice in my school on the programs that I teach, and on my school, and a few months later you decided it wasn't for you, then that's I'm okay with that. I'm not going to at the same time under teach somebody, we'll say. So I don't do the contracts and third-party billing, and at the same time, that first 3 or 4 months, I'm not going to not teach you and try to put effort into you based on what you can consume at that time. I don't think that's fair either. That means that in my mind that no one is going to stay for, stay. And everybody's life changes. Schools move. Teachers quit teaching. So it can go both ways. So anyway, I hope the video is somewhat helpful, and I encourage you to watch some of my other videos on some of these other topics that relate to signing up. It is it's a big commitment to take, and a lot of times people don't see it that way in the beginning. And later they realize the commitment that goes along with them signing up in something, and that's their reason for quitting. And I'll say this also too. If you tried something for a few months and you decided it wasn't what you wanted to do at that time because of personal things that came up in your life, and then 6 months later everything is great and you want to come back to something, don't feel like that teacher's going to be unhappy with you. Then they're not going to want to talk to you because you quit coming at that time. A lot of times those teachers will, the good ones will welcome you back with open arms and have you in the class and try to get you back up to speed. That's a good teacher. So anyway, again, I hope you liked the video, and encourage you to watch some of the other videos and see if they help you to see things from a different perspective, or help you to understand why things are done a certain way, and hopefully it'll help with some of the confusion out there with all the different things, especially with this one here about you and signing up, and why is there so many different ways that people enroll students. So thank you for watching.